Hey everybody, welcome back to Wellness Wednesday. I'm sitting here with Steph from Create and Thrive. Hey Steph.
Hi.
Do you like how we coordinated our outfits?
Yeah, totally unplanned.
Totally unplanned. So hey, today we're going to be talking about resilience. So that's the theme of the week in my Go-To Girl community. We're talking about resilience, and specifically on this live training or class that we're doing today, we're really going to be talking about kids. So it's building resilience for kids, and we're going to focus. When we talk about the oils, we're actually going to show you guys this new kids kit that literally came out 2 days ago, which is now available in New Zealand and also Australia. So that's super exciting. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about the adaptive oils, which also became available here in New Zealand. So it's monumental, and the timing couldn't be better because things are crazy at the moment.
Sure are. I mean, it's just the new routines, and you do silly things. Like I told Nat last week, I did something really silly.
What's that?
I first outing, going to a cafe to meet a friend, and we met at halfway and in Takapuna. She was coming from Greenhive. I was pulling out of the gate of my apartment building, and I thought, uh-oh, I don't have my wallet. I thought, that's okay, I'll just pay her back later. And then got to the cafe, and I saw she was waiting outside. I did a really stupid thing, Steph. I left my wallet at home.
It's like we're not in the habit of going out into the actual real world anymore. Yeah. That's so funny.
And it's all these changes, and you notice that for kids too, going back to school, and it's that anxiety and the changes, and probably them sensing the anxiousness of the parents sending them back to school, all those things.
I was just thinking about that. You've got the trickle down effect of, maybe your kids are anxious. A lot of the times they actually can pick up, and certain kids more than others, I feel, are empathic. I know I've got one kid more than the other who is more sensitive. So if Matt or I are frazzled or whatever, then he'll kind of absorb that energy. And whereas the other one is more like aloof to that. So, different, equal, but not the same. That's kind of my parenting philosophy, equal, but not the same. So I feel like in terms of resilience, we're going to give you some actionable tips today that you can do to help you and your family be more resilient. And we're going to share some info on these awesome oils. Yay. So
yes, because it's not just the kids that need to be resilient, it is us as well.
Everybody.
Really?
Yeah. So hey, if you're watching us, I know you guys are watching from the oil school or maybe from the page. So let us know where you are, where you're watching from. If you're commenting from a group, we can't see your name, but you can mention your name if you want. So yeah, let's talk about it. Raising resilience. Like, what does resilience mean to you? So for me, I talk a lot about having dust yourself off ability. It's the ability to kind of, if something happens, whether it happens at school, your child has an awkward thing with a teacher or an awkward thing with a classmate, are they able to dust themselves off, or do they really take it to heart and really let it, bother them? And it's just a matter of kind of encouraging them as much as possible, or equipping them with the tools and strategies to be able to dust themselves off more often. And I don't mean bury it down and soldier on. I don't mean that. I mean, actually go, well, you know what? What happened, the reality of it, what happened, kind of like, what, so what, now what? That's a great little strategy people can use. Like, this is a debriefing technique that we used in the days when I used to work in the outdoors. And it's what, so what, now what? And you go, hey, whatever, Sarah, what happened at school today? Oh, there was this kid and she was really mean. Oh, so what? So how do you feel about that? And they're like, well, I'm really actually feeling offended because blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, now what? Like, now what are you going to do about it? Do you, are you going to, like, whatever, talk to your friend about it? Are you going to just push it down and pretend everything's okay? Are you going to actually go, you know what? I'm going to pick my battles. Like, I understand that she actually had a really hard time with her parents, so I'm not going to take it personally, and I'm going to try to shift my energy. And so that's kind of some mindset work. So I feel like that's a good tool for you guys as people, parents, but also for the kids. What, now what, so what? Wait, is that what I said? Yeah, now what, so what? Can someone write it down in the comments? I'll write it down later.
Oh, should I be making notes?
No, that's cool. So that's my little top tip for you guys. Steph, do you want to add in anything?
I think a technique I fell into with one of my daughters particularly, what they verbalize isn't necessarily the issue. And sometimes they can be asking you a question and you can think they are going in a direction of one way, but I always kick the touch and I'd say, tell me more, explain, I wanted the context, and often I'd find what they needed was in a totally different direction to what I was initially thinking I needed to tell them. And it saved me a lot of embarrassing moments too, because often it was a lot more innocent than what I thought I was going to have to say with them. And I think there's a technique that I use now and have been taught in business where, you know, you're teasing out more information, because what you're told initially isn't necessarily the crux of what they're feeling or what the problem is, and the same for adults. And it's an acronym, spit it out, TED, and it's tell me more about that, or explain to me, or describe to me. So it's an easy thing to remember, but it's a good way to tease out any information, because often when someone says a rash statement at you, you're thinking, whoa, where did that come from? But if you get them to clarify, and it also takes them through the thought process, rather than accepting something outrageous and teasing it out and taking it somewhere a bit more positive.
I love that. I think it's like, when, you know, we call it peeling back the onion, and it's almost like, well, what else is going on for you? Tell me more about that, rather than just like what I tend to want to do is jump in with my advice. Anyone else in that boat with you, as a parent or as a friend? But if you actually just pause and go, tell me more, so that's turning up the dial on the listening. Tell me more about that, and then they just tell you a little bit more.
And it can really work wonders. I've got a very dear friend who's a counsellor, and she said to me, when you've got really complex issues with a kid, don't go in for the solution necessarily. You can go, yes, just do the listening, the empathizing, the listening, let the person do the download, ask the questions, and then say, well, I've got some ideas about that. And, when you're ready, just come and ask me, and I'm happy to tell you. I tried that on my daughter when she was like 21 maybe, and she sprinted across the room.
So
she said, tell me now.
Oh, good.
She wanted to know my solution straight away, but it came from her asking for it rather than me giving it. And so I think that means they've bought into it more than if you were just spouting forth.
That's awesome. I feel like so far we've already covered basically 3 new strategies that if you guys want, you can implement into your daily routine or your weekly routine as parents. So that's pretty awesome. I'm going to talk about some oils now. And the first one I'm going to start with is actually adaptive, because, especially when someone is going through a hard time, or even just life in general, or maybe they've got a test coming up, or maybe they're just feeling anxious about going back into work or going back into school, for example. Adaptive, the one that just came out, it's actually called Calming Blend. I think they call it Tranquil Blend in New Zealand.
All right.
And so what this one helps you to do is to be calm and focused, right? So calm and focused. So you're not going to be sleepy. It's not like, lavender peace where you're kind of just like chilled out. It is, you're chilled out, but you're still focused. You're onto it. So whether they're anxious and nervous to go driving, like they just got their license and now they're going to go driving, adaptive is perfect for that. So they're like calm, but they're focused. Or maybe they're going back to school and they're nervous about, the germs, or they're nervous about, their teacher, or they have a substitute teacher and they're really anxious about it. It's like, this is a great oil. So it comes in 2 forms. I'm going to show you guys. So we've got the roll-on, or we've got the pure oil. So both of them are a blend. And so the pure oil is great for the diffuser. So it can go straight into your diffuser. We always go 1 drop per hour. So if you're putting it on for 10 hours, you would do 10 drops. You can blend it with other things. You might go 5 drops adaptive because I want to be calm and focused, and 5 drops of citrus bliss because I want to be happy and joyful. So you just kind of blend them together. That's no problem. This one is amazing. I'm going to read to you what's in it. It actually does have orange in it already. Orange, which is happiness, lavender, which is calming, copaiba, which is like the kind of chill out oil, spearmint, the oil of confident speech. So this is important with resilience for people actually speaking their truth, saying what they want instead of complaining or going into shutdown, etc. Because some people do, if they're in more of an expressive personality, they're more likely to complain or whinge or shout. Whereas people that aren't so much an expressive might just go into, lockdown with their emotions, but it'll still cause problems, with their health and wellness because they're not letting those emotions out. So spearmint is the oil of confident speech. Magnolia, the oil of compassion. So it helps that person be less judgmental of themselves or other people. So if they're being negative on themselves, like, God, that was stupid. What was I thinking? This will help them to be a little bit more understanding and compassionate.
Yeah.
It also has in it rosemary, which is great for memory. So if they're trying to study, it's really amazing. So there you go. And bitter orange, which is that neroli, bitter orange? And again, that's kind of that happiness and connection oil. So all of those oils are in that.
I
So
love the
totally
way you
amazing.
can remember what all the oils are for, like magnolia, what the oil of, I never remember all
That's
that.
why you've got the book.
Yeah.
We love this book.
What you just described sounds like the perfect blend for my daughter.
It is the perfect
because she's
blend.
a social worker.
Yeah.
And all those things wrapped together, it's like a perfect combo for a teacher or a social worker or a nurse, anybody working in those.
Yeah. I agree. And that's why I'm super pumped that it's like, it's been available for about 6 months from the American warehouse, but now it's available from the New Zealand warehouse. So if you guys have a doTERRA account, you can literally log in and you can write adaptive, which is ADAPTIV, adaptive. Just write adapt and it'll come up and you can click and you can order it. So it's super awesome. If you don't already have an account, get in touch with us. We can definitely help you. So the second one is the adaptive roll-on. So do you want to let them know what's the difference between the roll-on?
Well, the roll-on's already got the fractionated coconut oil in there, so straight away you can. I've got this in my handbag.
It's got coconut oil in it.
Just use it in your hands, on your wrists, down there. This is what I've got on my handbag. I love this one.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah.
And the other way people wear it a lot is, if you had a diffuser bracelet, and I've got a girl on my team who makes these diffuser bracelets. So let me know if you want the link. And you can just roll it right on here or drip the oil and rub it into the porous beads. And she makes them to suit. So you might go, I want silver, gold, and pink, or I don't like black, but I do love blue. And so she can make them for you, or you can purchase them already. But that's another way to just kind of get it into your system. So with the roll-ons, you can roll them straight on, like Steph mentioned. So you don't have to actually get your hands oily. But if you want to, you can roll it on your hand and then breathe it in and then rub it on your neck. So this one's like handy dandy, ready to go. I think it's around $30. And the other one, the drip one, is for the diffuser. Don't put this in the diffuser. The coconut will glug up your diffuser. So this is only for rolling, topical use. This is for diffusing, or you can get this combination and make your own roller up as well. And I don't know how much this is. I'm going to say about 50, but don't quote me because I don't know.
I just think of it like a perfume because I don't want to use perfume, since a nurse told me a few years ago that there's formaldehyde in perfume, and I was horrified because I hardly ever buy perfume.
Oh, I always say perfume is poison.
Yes, I know. And I just bought a perfume and it's still sitting there on the shelf.
Yeah.
It was
have to go in the
not touched it.
Not touched it. Yeah. Hey, so any questions so far about adaptive, or if you liked some of the techniques that Steph and I mentioned, let us know which one you're going to try with your kids. So we talked about the TED acronym.
Yep.
We talked about what was the other one you did?
Not jumping in with solutions, but saying, I've got some ideas about that. Come and ask when you're ready.
And then the what, so what, now what. So so we're going to talk about the kids kit next. And so this, again, is super timely. It's been available for over a year from the American warehouse, but now, as of 2 days ago, as of the 1st of June, we can order it in New Zealand. It's $150 if you already have your doTERRA account, which is amazing. If you don't have your doTERRA account, you have to pop, another $40 on there, but that gives you wholesale prices for a whole year. So the oils in this kit are so incredible, and they're really cute names. We've got Thinker. So if your kid wants to focus and do their homework, Thinker is great. Now it's got vetiver in it, so it slows down their busy mind. It's got peppermint to help them focus, clementine for happiness, and rosemary for memory. That's the Thinker oil. It's got Rescuer. So Rescuer has copaiba, which just helps them to be calm and chill. Lavender, again, for calming. Spearmint to speak their truth. So you imagine if a kid's like, mommy, oh my gosh, da-da-da. It's like, calm down, sweetheart. Breathe in, and you can roll it. They can roll it on their hand, or they can just sniff it from the bottle. So that's Rescuer. Brave. And one of the things we find is that kids love the names, and kids start to be empowered because they're like, mommy, where's the Brave oil? I'm a bit nervous about going to my hip hop class. Where's the Brave oil? And they'll start asking for the oils, which is so cool. Now, Brave oil has wild orange, so that's happiness. Cinnamon, which is like passion, like I got this, I can do this. It's kind of the courage blend. So I'll show you what they look like. They've each got, so there's Rescuer. So that one's blue. We've got, there's Brave. So Brave is orange. And what was the other one that I said? Thinker is yellow. So they'll get the handle of it. They'll remember what colors and the names and things like that. Then it's got calmer. So calmer is obviously to help them just be calm. So maybe it's a sleeping situation. Maybe if they're anxious, because calmer has lavender, which calms them down. Lavender is also great for bumps and bruises and burns. So you can actually put calmer onto a bump or a bruise. Also, it's got Roman chamomile. So, oh my gosh, I love Roman chamomile so much. And Buddha wood. So anything with wood is grounding. So it helps them feel present and centered and calm. So it's a beautiful combination of those 3 oils. So that's calmer. Then we've got stronger and steady. Do you know about these? Do you want to talk about any of those?
Oh, I need to put my glasses on to read the ones, and you'll remember the names of what they go with. But yeah, stronger has got cedar wood in, so that's another sort of with the grounding. Litsea, that's more on the citrusy side, isn't it? And frankincense, you know, they always say frankincense, king of oils.
Yeah.
And rose, that's surprising.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Because frankincense and rose are like 2 of the most expensive oils.
Right.
So they're in stronger, and frankincense, you know, can help people feel like less anxious, more empowered. And then rose, you know, it's just like they can roll it on their heart. It just helps them feel like happy and calm and all the
What
things.
I'm finding fascinating scrolling through this very quickly is hardly any of the oils are repeated. Lavender is, but most of them, it's all different blends on each of these. Steady's got amyris, which is not a separate oil, isn't it?
We'll have to look that
not
up.
A single oil we can buy is what I mean. Balsam fir, coriander, and magnolia.
So that's interesting, because steady. So you know, they kind of get the gist. The idea is that they kind of, from the names, they can kind of help them associate what they need. But you know, if they're feeling like a little bit all over the show or a little bit anxious, then steady can help them be just steady. And what I love about that one is it's got coriander in it, which is really, I call it the oil for control freaks. Like coriander is one that helps you be like, you know what? I'll just allow things to happen. I don't need to, everything doesn't need to be plotted out and organized. It's okay. I'll just see what wonders await, you know? And so coriander helps people to just like allow things to happen and not try to be in charge and control everything. So that's for people like me that like to control everything. And the next one is magnolia, which we've already discussed, which is the oil of compassion. So it's like, you know what? Don't be so hard on yourself. You know, let it go. It's all good. Your life is a journey. Life doesn't happen to you. It happens for you. You know, all those things. Awesome. So that is the kids kit, you guys. And it's super cute. It comes in this box. So what you'll do is probably just, I would suggest, carry this box around with you when you're out and about with the kids. You're going to soccer, you're going away for the weekend. It's like, toss it in your bag, because someone's gonna need something from this kit. Awesome.
It's quite funny because coriander, I hadn't heard that before about being the oil for control freaks. And yet in a way, using the oils, you could say it's controlling a situation. But I prefer to think of it as empowering. Well, it's like resilience. Situation. Like, I've had a friend whose husband, they come around and he's had a bit of depression and he's not been taking his meds, and he's a bit of a control freak. But I tend to put on the citrus oils when they come around, and I might try that one, add the coriander in. But he goes, "Oh, Steph, didn't know you were into aromatherapy." And I go, "Yeah." But I don't say I put it on specifically for you. Today.
You know, one of the more adult oils that has coriander in it is called past tense, which puts tension into the past. I don't think I have it here, but it is a roll. It's a rolly, so it's only in a rolly. You roll it on. But I always call it. It's like it's got wintergreen, so it smells really sporty. So you smell like, you know, sporty, like muscle rub or something. But it has 4 of the salad oils in it: cilantro, you know, coriander for the control freaks, rosemary for the memory, you know, basil, you know, to support your energy and things like that, and something else which I can't remember. So it's got the salad oils, but the key is it doesn't smell like coriander.
And
the fascinating it's kind of masked.
People either love or hate coriander in food. And what is striking me now is an observation of a friend who was very detailed and in control and of everything. And she hated coriander.
But she needs coriander.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'd heard with as far as the food goes. Like whenever I wanted to put coriander in guacamole, and never when she was there. But I wonder if I'd put a drop of coriander
just a little bit, but you'll have to blend it. Like if you're doing it in the diffuser, you have to blend it with other things, or else it'll be like Coriander City. So I just want to mention, you know, really briefly. So I would say the kids kit is great for kids probably age like 10 or below. And the reason being, all the oils are kind of double diluted. So it's kind of got more coconut oil. The ratio is really great for kids. And now, of course, you can put this on the back of the neck or up and down the spine, or breathe it in, or even on the soles of their feet. So some people that go, I don't like coriander, it's like, you know what, you still need that oil, or it'll still help to empower you and support you. Let's put it on the soles of your bare feet so you don't smell it, but it'll still get that oil into your system.
It's a bit like past tense, I find a little bit strong for me, but I've had a lot of hay fever allergy issues over the years. So that would be one I put on my feet or away from my eyes. So in tune, I think, and past tense,
they're both
the
really
same
strong
for me.
But so one of the things I love about this, it's already diluted, and that's why I say kids age 10 or younger, plus they love it and it looks really cute. That's not to say your teens can't use it or you can't use it. It just won't be as potent and powerful because it's so diluted. So anyone 10 or above, generally, I would use this emotional aromatherapy kit. And again, a 7-year-old can still use these. Like it's not a big rule, but the point is these ones are stronger potency, but they're still diluted so that you can use them straight away topically. And really quickly, I'm not going to go through in massive detail, but motivate oil, you want to be more motivated, cheer, happiness, passion, more excited, forgive, that's for anger and letting go, console for sadness and reassurance, comforting, and then peace, which is for anxiousness and reassurance. So this kit, I think, is 187 or something like that, or 208 if you don't already have your doTERRA account. So personally, I would get both.
I love with this. I've often given it to people and said, just put it on the continuum, which most appeals to you and which least appeals to you. And it's fascinating how what you need is the one that appeals to you. In several situations I've gone and I've offered it to like one instance, it was an 11 or 12-year-old who was having a hard time, and it was just interesting. And console for me never appealed, and then my dad died and I couldn't get enough of it, and now I always take it to a funeral because I just see someone upset and I'm upset. And I was using it the last time I went to a funeral, and the person next to me said, oh, can I have some? And they just smelt it, and then at the end of the funeral, it got handed around all the gang, all the friends of hers. They all wanted some too, to just.
Well, I just had a friend, like one of my kids' friends, you know, the dad's mom just passed away. And it's one of those things where you go, like, I don't know the dad's mom. I didn't know her, but I want to do something like for the parent, the family. She's already an oil customer of mine, so I know that they're open to oils. Well, Console would be the oil that I'm going to actually give to that family, just to help them acknowledge how they feel and to process the emotions before the emotions process them. So before, when you said, oh, oils are a way of like kind of controlling, you're right in the sense that it's like, it's a tool. It's a tool for us to go, okay, this is how I'm feeling. Number one, we don't want to shove it down. We want to go like, how am I actually feeling? It's kind of the what, so what, now what? Like, what is going on for me? How am I feeling? I'm super angry right now. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, how do I want to feel? I want to feel peaceful. Okay. We're going to grab the peace oil, right? Or we're going to grab the calmer oil, maybe from the kids kit. So it's like, how do I feel? And then moving towards the emotion, that the desired outcome, the emotion that we want to feel. So it's not that we're shoving the emotions down or we're pretending they don't exist. We're just giving ourselves and the kids some tools to speak about how they feel. Because my thoughts, and I feel very strongly on this, is that we got to start with the kids. We got to start the kids being okay. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be angry. Anger is not bad, but and we give them some tools to process how they feel, to express how they feel, not in a punching the wall method or like tantruming on the floor. It's like, how else can we support them? Rather than saying, don't cry or don't get angry. It's like, well, if they are angry, what's behind that? Like, what's going on for you? Tell me more. Like you said, the TED thing.
Yeah. It's finding solutions. Like, my daughter, I said before, she's a social worker, and yesterday she was dealing with a man and where English was his second language, and he's in utter frustration and despair with his kids because they're only like 7 and 9, I think. Don't want to go to school. Anyway, she talked through with him, and she established they weren't going to bed till 1 o'clock in the morning. And so
no wonder they don't want to go to school.
Exactly. So, it's finding things in ways that are appropriate to the age. So like she went online and we looked until we found a video on sleep and the importance of sleep. And we found an excellent one, but the woman was talking like this, and she went, and we thought, there is no way they are going to get the information from this. So we found something else which was more illustrative and visual. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it pans out. But I think, you know, eating right really fuels people and helps them. Exercise, you know, it's a mix of things, but sleep is just so important. The downtime, like this video is saying, and we all know it, but
you grow in your sleep, you regenerate.
A third of our life is spent sleeping. And this person was saying how many years that works out in the average person's life.
Well, I mean, the kids, they're so used to sleeping, you know, well, my two other ones get up early, but, you know, the teens, they sleep till 10 o'clock. So like, it's a big adjustment for them going back to school. But even if they're younger and they're going to bed so late, probably having way too much tech, it's like, how can we empower them, you know, and obviously oils is one of the tools on the tool belt of the parent to help them get excited for bed, and then to, you know, physically help them feel a little bit more ready for bed, like rested.
I'm not sure about the word excited.
Well, no, but they might be like, what do you want? What it's going to be like? What should we
looking forward to it?
What should we put in the diffuser tonight? Like if they're 6 and 7, they'll get excited about putting the oil in the diffuser, I think.
I lived with a husband who did excite my kids too much before bed. So I would have spent the whole time, you know, the bath, calming them down. And then he'd arrive home from work. Fun, let the fun begin. And I'm like, oh, I'm ready for relaxing. I needed the bath, not them.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Anyway, you guys, I hope that's been helpful. So today we're talking about resilience for kids. A couple of tools and techniques were mentioned. If you missed my Up Your Brave live stream this week, the topic was building resilience. We actually talked about business as well as life. So I'll put the link below for the replay for that. Let us know what techniques you're using. How are you supporting your kids to be more resilient during not just the times of change and challenge that we're in, but just in everyday life? We'd love to know your thoughts. Also, let us know which oil is your favorite at the moment around resilience, and so that we can keep learning from each other. Awesome. Thanks for joining us. And we'll see you next time.
See ya.